So I really wish that I got a Strat type of guitar that I was really into earlier. I really didn't bond with a Strat type of guitar until I got this from Pine Home Guitars. It is fantastic. And I also think that I've approached the Strat a bit wrong, sort of assuming that I have to play it like Stevie Ray Vaughan or Jimi Hendrix. I don't really play like that. Yeah, that's not me. But I use this guitar a lot for layering, basically studio things when I'm doing a lot of different sounds. I also really wish that I got this guitar earlier because it's a fantastic guitar for a lot of things, and not only the thing that I got it for, which was the more heavy stuff, of course. You get a Flying V or Explorer, especially from the Gibson lineup, but it is fantastic for rock and riffing, and like I use it for many different things. I've also put some bare knuckle pickups in it, Cold Sweat. They are fantastic, and yeah, this is an overall really good rock guitar that I wish I had in my arsenal earlier. I don't want to talk too much about the Kemper. I know that people are either really into Kempers or not into Kempers. I used to not be into them, but I really wish that I got one earlier because it's really good. But I'm also kind of thankful that I didn't get one too early, because I would probably have not bought so many strange and weird old amps to experiment with. But now I have all of those amps inside my Kemper. And yeah, in a room like this, I don't have a control room and a separate live room. It is so much easier to record silently using that one instead of plugging in a super loud amp. I've always been kind of bad at organizing things. Then I saw this video on YouTube. It was a filmmaker talking about these bags and how he used these CRD bags to organize his stuff when he was on set filming. I do filming, that's my main thing, but I also need to organize stuff here in my studio. So after watching that video, I thought I'm going to buy a lot of these bags to organize my stuff, and I actually talked to them and asked if they wanted to sponsor this video. So they are sponsoring this video. You can get a discount by using my code down below. You get them in different sizes. I have like 4 different ones here in my studio, and I'm definitely planning on getting even more of them, because I've tried some cheaper ones that I bought from, yeah, I'm not going to say from where, but they like instantly broke. These are like super sturdy. This is the one where I keep tuners and slides and slide bars for my lap steel. I have some string packs in here. This is more for mics, and the other ones are more for like the camera part of what I do. And I'm just super happy with my new, more organized life. So thanks a lot to CRDBAGS for sponsoring this video. Again, check out the link and my code down below if you want to get them. Most of the time I try to fix and keep my guitars as good as possible myself. This is something that I should have gotten way earlier. This is a kit. I'm not sure if this is the newest one from Ernie Ball, but with this one I get most of the stuff done. Peg winder, I actually use this one. Not sure if that is part of the kit, but yeah, this one is super good. Like 95% of the time I can do everything setup wise using this kit. Compressor, a compressor pedal. Of course, I've had a lot of compressor pedals up and through the years, but I've always ended up selling most of them because I don't use a compressor that much on guitars. Honestly, sometimes I do. I use them on lap steel, but one thing that I've recently discovered is that I always need a good compressor when I record bass for a couple of reasons. One is it gives your sound a certain character which is cool. But it also removes like the high peaks that you get when you plug your bass directly into your audio interface. And that can be a bit difficult to deal with in post, so I try to fix that problem in post by using a really good compressor pedal. Right now I'm using the Squish Ass from Bondi Effects, and it's amazing. I've always enjoyed playing the acoustic guitar. I learned to play the guitar on a really bad acoustic. Most of the time I've used my wife's guitars. We have a couple of really good ones at home, or she has, but I've always neglected the need to have a good one for myself. But last year I got this Gibson J35, and I combined that guitar with some Martin retro strings that I also really recommend. And I use this guitar quite a lot here in my studio. First and foremost for writing songs, and of course sometimes I use it to record as well. So yeah, you should have a acoustic guitar. Doesn't have to be a really expensive one. I often do find that the really expensive like Martins and Collings, they sound just way too nice for me. So of course this is not a super cheap guitar, but I do like this one a lot. I actually prefer Gibson acoustic guitars. Okay, so I have no idea why I haven't really gotten into amp clamps before. I probably thought that was a live thing and something that you don't do in a studio situation. But man, I don't think I ever can use a normal mic stand again for my cabs and my amps, especially for close miking. Of course, when I do a mic like from a distance, I will have to use a normal mic stand, but for close miking, amp clamps. It just frees up so much space in your room, especially since I have a quite small studio. So I'm using the one from Gravity. They sent that one to me a while ago, and I've used it non-stop since I got it. I wish that I was able to fit my ribbon microphones on these, but I haven't been able to do that. They don't fit, so they should probably make more of these for all kind of different microphones. And on top of this stack we have this battery from Ecoflow. It's the River 2 Pro. I did a sponsored video with them some videos ago where I took this battery and I went into the forest and I made a song and recorded that in the forest using this one and my Mac and my pedal board and a couple of guitars, which is a fun thing to do, of course. That was really inspiring doing that. I imagine bringing one of these in your tour van is fantastic because cars are just horrible when it comes to powering stuff for more than one person. I've used it in my car a lot, even just for me when I've been charging my camera stuff and when I've gone to film sets and different things. And for miking up cabs and amps, ribbon mics, I talked about that with the amp clamp. This is my go-to ribbon mic at the moment, AEA KU5A. It was really an eye-opener or ear opener trying a ribbon mic for the first time on a guitar cabinet. It is so much more like the sound that you get in the room. In most cases, I also use a dynamic mic together with this. That is my preferred option, to have like both of them and to blend them. But you should definitely try a ribbon mic. And sometimes I just use a ribbon mic. This is the Lele P-Split. So I can use 2 amps at the same time. You have a phase switch. Yeah, it's a very simple tool, but I do use it a lot. Before I got this, I used pedals, stereo pedals, and it was a mess. So I really wish that I got one of these earlier. And right here I have the Radial Mix 2-to-1. I remember doing a sponsored video on this because I got it from Sweetwater, and I made a sponsored video of it. And I don't think I've ever gotten so many comments saying like, oh, you're just promoting that product because it's a sponsored video. You don't actually use that thing at all. But I've used it a lot, I can tell you, for different things. The thing that I use it for right now is when I'm profiling my amps with the Kemper. I run 2 mics into my preamp and EQ, and I mix them together. I sum them together with my Radial Mix 2-to-1, and I end up with one guitar signal going into the Kemper, and I'm doing the profiling. Sometimes I send that summed signal straight into Logic and I record guitars that way. You don't always have to have the option of having like both mics inside of your DAW. If you prefer that, of course do that, but sometimes having something like this is really freaking handy. So I wish I got one of these earlier. Yes.